Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muawiyah Nur Redinda. My registration number is A1 M2 18021. In this occasion, I will present you all about quantitative research, and the title is Enhancing Vocabulary Knowledge Among Secondary School EFL Students by Using Facebook. This study arranged by Majida Ibrahim Muhlif from Ministry of Education, General Director of Education in Anbar, Iraq. There is an abstract in the study. The study attempts to compare the effectiveness of employing Facebook and traditional instruction in improving Iraqi EFL secondary school students' vocabulary knowledge. The factors that positively and negatively affect the EFL students' vocabulary learning were also investigated. The study employed a quasi-experimental design with two groups, the control and the experimental groups. In the control group, 36 students were taught English vocabularies via the in-class conventional method, and the experimental group, which consisted of another 36 students, were taught using Facebook as an online learning platform to enhance their knowledge of English vocabularies. Is according by Sentikaya and Suchu 2018. This is because through Facebook, students can be provided with ample learning opportunities to gain the new vocabularies and practice them continuously with their classmates in Facebook platform. In this study, there are three research questions. The first one is there any difference in the EFL students' vocabulary knowledge between the students who use Facebook online learning platform and those who receive traditional instruction? Second, is there any difference in the EFL students' English vocabulary knowledge before and after the experiment for the experimental group and the control group? And the last research question about how do the EFL students perceive the determining factors that enhance and hinder their learning of English vocabulary in Facebook online learning platform? There are three purposes in the study. The first one is to know the difference in the EFL students' vocabulary knowledge between the students who use Facebook online learning platform and those who receive traditional instruction. Second, to know the difference in the EFL students' English vocabulary knowledge before and after the experiment for the experimental group and the control group. And the last purpose is to know how do the EFL students perceive the determining factors that enhance and hinder their learning of English vocabulary in Facebook online learning platform. In the study, vocabulary learning is a collective process whereby learners gather and store vocabularies learned in the lexical memory of the brain. That is according by Ross in 2006. Learners need constant opportunity to use the gathered words appropriately and thus gain an understanding of their use. There is a strong connection between vocabulary knowledge of readers and their ability to understand what they read. The methodology of this study, the quantitative research method that was used in this study was the quasi-experimental design, since it was not possible for the research to randomly allocate subjects. And then the participants came from 72 students were chosen from one of the secondary schools in Erbil in north of Iraq in academic year 2019 until 2020. The instrument of this study, quantitative research instrument, they include the pretest represented by mini dialogues with omitting unneeded letters, and the post-test represented by a crossword puzzle. The items in the pretest and post-test were developed based on the English language syllabus of the prescribed book entitled English for Iraq for the fourth year secondary school students. Second, data collection. There are three data collection. The first one is pre-study phase, week 1. The students in the experimental and control group were given a pre-test. Second, the treatment phase in week 2 to week 11. The teacher taught the students in the experimental group using Facebook online learning platform. And the last data collection came from post-study phase in week 12. The students in the experimental and control group were asked to do the post-test. In addition, a semi-structured interview was conducted to the experimental group to determine the students' perception relevant to the factors that affected their learning of English vocabulary. Result of the current study show that the use of Facebook online learning platform was significantly effective in improving the EFL students' vocabulary knowledge in favor of students of the experimental group as compared with students of the control group as measured by their mean scores of the post-test. This is an agreement with Klein 2008 and O'Hanlon in 2007, who state that language, writing, indirect vocabularies, and fluency are impressed with the use of Facebook. Conclusion of the study. Based on the research gained in the study, it is clearly evidence that the use of Facebook online learning platform is effective in enhancing students' vocabulary knowledge. Accordingly, Facebook could be implemented as a supplemental learning experience that provides EFL students with an array of new meaningful strategies to enhance their skill and stimulate them to learn. In addition, Facebook represents a safe and less threatening learning space for shy and low self-esteem students as it provides them with meaningful learning opportunities and a flexible atmosphere to learn together by participating in collaborative learning activities. This flexible learning space enhances students' motivation and confidence and can consequently enrich students' vocabulary knowledge.